Peace, peace. How you doing, my great vibers? This is your guy, Barry, aka Barry Israel. Peace, 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 peace. The first and the last. My people, today I'm bringing a serious subject to you. The title of my video today is going to be 911 Alert. A blackout is coming. The corporation of the U.S. has been dissolved. A new system is coming. That is the title, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. My great vibers, what we got to understand moving forward from this point, that this video is about disclosure, so you can have some closure and probably catch on and understand what a lot of other people that understand that have been actually doing peaceful protests, because they understand where this country is going and what is really going on. This is not about race. This is not about supporting any particular type of political party. It's not about any of that. This is about bringing the people the truth, because if not, lack of truth and knowledge, wisdom and understanding, you will perish with those that have been the actual perpetrators of one of the greatest con jobs the world has ever seen. I'm going to tell you who was responsible, what that con job was, who was responsible for that con job, and where America, the direction that it will probably be going from this point on. We have been involved in the victims of the biggest con job ever that started right after the Revolutionary and Civil War. That's what a lot of these people know that did go upon Washington from their heritage and their roots. They understand that. But now I'm going to bring the technical reasons behind it so that you understand that it's not about all the illusion and chaos that they are trying to present to you. This is about what has taken place, but now it has been corrected. And we need to move forward into the right direction instead of continuing to get caught up into the rituals and the chaos that is being perpetrated on you to keep you in that slavery. We have not been we the people. We have been we the peasants. And I'm going to explain that, my great vibers. I'm going to explain. This is not about race. This is about the people and your sovereignty and how you have been the victim for centuries of an illegal con game that was enacted through your Congress in 1871 called the Act of 1871. This is the real issue and problem in America that really kept you enslaved after the so-called slavery ended, my great vibers. But there are groups that are responsible for this, that is continuing to cause the chaos. So this is a serious message coming to y'all. And, normally I'm in a certain demeanor, but now I'm bringing you a message because this demeanor calls for this message and hoping that it sinks in, because the Creator is sending down those, want to bring things to you through a lot of people that are trying to get you to continue to focus and think righteously and to understand what's really going on and to stay away from the tell-lie vision and the tell-lie media and understand that they are also part of the con job that has been dissolved. We have been conned. Instead of America and us being Americans, we have been Americanned, CONNED. My great vibers, the real deal is this. What you are seeing is the collapse of the market of beast system, which consisted of a few components, 6 components that I bring, really 7, but 6. One of them was our government. One of them was entertainment. One of them was education, medicine, justice system, and now the real beast, the capitalism of technology. And all of that stuff is collapsing. But all of that was also used by these con artists to keep us enslaved in their systems. And if you understand the Bible, Revelation 12 and 13, it often speaks of the beast rising out of the sea. The beast represent countries. It don't represent actual beasts. It's countries. When you hear that term beast being used in the Bible, and it's talking about the greatest beast of all. Right now in Revelation, we're at that point, which was America. the greatest beast of it all, the greatest beast system, which controlled all world powers, everything. And it controlled and kept us enslaved, my great vibers. My great vibers, as you are starting to see, the beast system is now becoming unveiled. It's here. You have to understand and overstand before you perish for your lack of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, my great vibers. This is serious. This is one of the most serious moments of my life because I have a message to deliver. I have a message to deliver. And I hope and I pray that it marinates in your mind to what is actually going down. Forget all of the other shenanigans. Forget all of those things you think you've seen. This is what it's about. The system you have been living under, the con job that they have been trying, my great vibers, to keep covered up. So when I say beast system, like I said, the Bible talks about it, but it's about the countries. But now it's talking about America with unmatched power and authority in the world. But also, it was a system that was set in place that sold us out in the Act of 1871. You can Google it after I speak and get the story. And also, great vibers, you can feel free to share this video. I do not monetize this channel, but this is a word that you may want to put on your social media if you see fit to get the word out. This is serious. How did things happen like this? How did it become this beast system? It came through, and what's collapsing now is the roots of slavery, the current European supremacy, not white supremacy, European supremacy over us, and the British supremacy over us, which has now morphed into capitalism. Capitalism through technology is what you're seeing, trying to control us, censor us, all of these things. It's the technocrats that I've been talking about in my last couple of videos. You have to go back to my videos to understand how the story is playing out. You are seeing the collapse of all of that. The current European supremacy we've had over us, not the white supremacy people want to push on you and push in your minds. The British supremacy that always has been here since after the Revolutionary and Civil War. And I will tell you what system was put in place and how it continued to happen and how we were duped, we were conned illegally. America, we have really been living under Americanned. We have been living not as we the people, but we the peasants. It's not about ethnic groups. It's about all ethnic groups, not one ethnic group. It's about all ethnic groups being able to live free with their own free will, peacefully. But we really weren't, my great vibers. My great vibers, we, the people, have been nothing but we, the peasants. And you ask yourself, why? Why are you saying this, Barry? This is why. We have not been Americans. I keep saying I have to get you to understand. We have been Americanned, C-O-N-N-E-D. And this is why. This is why, my great vibers. Since the Act of 1871, which, like I said, you can Google, under that presidency, during that time, we had Ulysses S. Grant, who was the president. Of course, you know he was also military. But he was actually the last, hear me out, the last elected president for the United States of America before that Constitution was changed and the de facto Constitution was replaced by the Act of 1871, which was done through our Congress then. He left office in 1877 after basically he probably, who knows, reluctantly or maybe unreluctant, who knows. But after that was ushered in, he left office in 1877. That's when it became official. From that point on, the inorganic Constitution, the fake one, took effect that was created during the Act of 1871. So we have not had a president for the United States. It was a president of the corporation of the United States. That Act of 1871 created a corporation, not a sovereign nation. We now went from our free will and inalienable rights to privileges that the corporation sees fit to grant you through licenses and other different laws and stuff that they perpetrated and placed throughout all of these states, in these state capitals, as they so desire. This act by Congress, by all means, was illegal from the beginning, because the citizens of the sovereign nation from the first Constitution was never aware of what took place. It was done by their representatives without their consent, and has been carried on and used ever since. And it took us away from being a sovereign nation. So we have been a corporation. And what they did was they took out the wording and said the Constitution and made it the Constitution for, instead of it being the Constitution for the United States of America, for us, for the people, they replaced it with the wording of the Constitution. So we now became the corporation of the United States of America. Now it was set up as a corporation, which basically held power over us through a fake constitution, was enacted through this jurisdiction of Washington, D.C. This is what has happened and what has taken place. So the elected presidents that we thought we were electing, it was never really elected. The president from 1877 on was actually a CEO and president of a corporation, not for the people, but for those, not for the people, but it was actually for those that actually own this corporation. And I'm going to get to who owned this corporation and how that happened. Now, how did that happen? Well, after the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, what happened, my great vibers, is just like many countries and how these same entities that run this corporation or were running this corporation, because it was dissolved, and I'm going to get to that. As they do other countries, they create the wars in them so they can come in and play the heroes to do reinvestment. So after the Revolutionary and Civil War, the United States needed reinvestment. We needed reinvestment because that was part of the plan, part of the con. So with the reinvestment, here comes so-called people with the rescue that always set up the Hegelian dialect. Create the problem, come with the solution. That's how it's always been, and that's always been the game plan. So now you had the people that we call international bankers, the European supremacists, the ones with the interest, and you can throw whatever ethnic groups you want in with that. It doesn't matter, but they're a European interest is the bottom line, and that promote European supremacy that have always been in this country since then. Then third, you had the British supremacy done through their government and their queens that basically have always owned us. Thus, you have in this state, in this nation today, this country today, Commonwealth states. And if y'all don't understand about that, a percentage of the money every month goes back to England, or was going back to England, to the tune of 10 million a month coming out of these Commonwealth states. From that moment on, they've always got a check off of our back. To the tune, my last count, it was 10 million a month coming out of these Commonwealth states, going back to the British, well, back to the Queen. But that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to dwell into that, just to get you to understand. And right now, they have lost their grip. They have lost their grip on this beast called America that they created, called America, that you have people trying to do peaceful protests to keep, but then you have people out there rallying, having protests to reverse that, because they don't have no sense. They have no knowledge, no wisdom or understanding to what's taking place. And that's why I'm bringing this to you. That's why I appeal to you and I'm presenting this to you, for you to understand what the real issue is. That's why they hate this current president, because he has exposed their system. And in fact, because of the Act of 1871 that was created by the Congress and made us a corporation, America actually has been a business that has been started under the corporation, impersonating the citizens. And they've been able, through this, to put insurance on us and even trade us on Wall Street that you don't hear about in so many ways. They have illegally accessed your assets, your credit. That's why they can put liens against you at any moment, anytime they want. That's why they can turn around and just take your assets, as we're seeing today, that people that don't want to go along with the C-19, the pandemic thing or whatever. Now you're seeing their assets being frozen, assets being taken under the corporation that are enacted through the states. This is what you are seeing happening. Had we been a sovereign nation, they couldn't do that to you because that's your possessions, that's your assets. But under corporation, it's theirs. So they can seize it. And all of the current representatives, they know that get elected. But when you're elected as a representative and you find out what's going on and you no longer want to go along with that and start speaking up, they soon and quickly get rid of you. And then they tarnish your name in the beginning if they don't take you out. This is what we're dealing with. This corporation is worse than the mafia organizations they bring up. My father always told me the real thugs are the ones with the suits and ties and the skirts pretending to be here for the American people. The elections have always been rigged. There's never been a rigged election. The corporation and the entities I told you that was behind it, the international bankers, the European supremacists, the British supremacists, and others who have joined their team, they have always decided who they want as president. But this one slipped in because of the grace of God. He was never a part of any of that, but he slipped in. They didn't choose him. They choose who they want to be president of this corporation and CEO of their corporation. That's how it's always been, except this time. Except this time. Thus you have all of the chaos behind this current president that you have, because he has exposed this system. It has collapsed. In fact, he has now signed a declaration dissolving this corporation, dissolving it. And that's why I said in my past videos that what we're looking forward to now, what is going on, the presidential transition won't be what you think. If you think you're seeing a presidential transition, you're not really seeing that. You're seeing another illusion, another sham, another continuation of the con job in which they need certain outlets to keep going because they're scared. Once people really understand what's taking place, they got to go run and hide. Thus, you have everybody wanting to have, in all their states now, the military there protecting. Because once people start catching on to what's really going on and seeing that this inauguration, you can't inaugurate somebody into a corporation that has been dissolved, people. This is what they're not telling you. This is what has happened. This is what this president has done. He has dissolved that stranglehold over us and are trying to put us back in the direction of a sovereign nation through God's will. No other person's will but God's will, the Creator's will. This is where we are going. This is the direction that we are heading in. My great vibers, we have been living under one of the greatest con jobs ever perpetrated against us through the Act of 1871. That act actually was an act of treason by that Congress that had been perpetrated and kept up to this day, up until January 1st. 2021 is when it was dissolved. That's when that corporation was dissolved, my great vibers. It has been dissolved. So it is over. But right now what you're seeing are ritualistic things they're bringing you into to keep your energy going. Those entities behind all of this, they're the ones behind you. You see the cryptocurrency, all of this stuff, they never wanted a gold standard because the bankers, they can't control a gold standard. They can only control the fiat paper money. That's what got past presidents killed, like Lincoln, wanting to go to a different standard. They didn't want to be under this corporation. Kennedy, same thing. Got Reagan shot until he got in line. This is how they operated and what they did. And other past presidents after Lincoln got poisoned or things just happened the way it happened. You disappeared when you wasn't about their fiat standard. When you diversified or went in a different direction from their act or what their act was intended. And that was to keep you enslaved. Keep you enslaved. We the people have been we the people. We the peasants. Once they changed the Constitution to of corporation of the U.S. From the corporation for. It was about them instead of for the people. This has been one of the biggest secrets, one of the biggest con jobs ever perpetrated. And it has come to an end. If you understand what's taking place, take race, take all of these shenanigans out of the picture. That's what it's been about. So people that went on to become elected officials that have done this, they've only been a part of a system that has sold America out since 1871. So we have really, as Americans, we have really been privatized. We have been privatized this whole time. We have been sold out. We have been privatized. So the current president, he also was not down with the BS. He was sent on a mission to take us in a different direction, another direction of grace, my great fathers, another direction of grace. He is the first real, legitimate person or president that was actually elected by the people through the grace of God that didn't allow them to cheat. But this time elections went the way they went because the Creator had to open your eyes. You got to remember, the Creator is also the master of all technology. There's nothing there's nothing he don't know or they do. He let him put their spin on it this time to open up your eyes once again, but also know that this inauguration, you can't inaugurate nobody from a defunct corporation that the U.S. was under. It's a wrap. We have always been privatized, but no more. No more. You have to understand and understand what I'm saying. We have been in the biggest, greatest con job ever perpetrated. Those entities are the deep state, the international bankers, the European supremacists, the real racists, hiding under the guise of technocrats that have now ushered in what they thought was going to be the new beast of all beasts, capitalism, used unjustly, where they want to censor you. It was already here, and it's a whole nother video on that, of the systems they put in place. But this message was the one I needed to bring so you understand. Then I will break it down, what they use their systems to do and how it cons you. But this has been the greatest, biggest con job ever. And it's over, people. It's over if you want it to be. Because Yah, the Father, the Creator, has came back to claim his, and I'm going to get to it on that. I'm going to break it down. Of course, I will end this with scripture and letting you know the Creator's final say on this. His final say. We have not been Americans. We have been Americaned. So those that they want to tell you are your enemies, so-called brown, black, whatever people you want to call yourself, trying to get you caught up into the race scenario, please listen. It's not about race. It's about keeping you enslaved into the con job that was done through the Act of 1871. But now, as of January 1, 2021, it has been dissolved, people. We're no longer under that. So you just got to keep your eye on to see how this will play out as far as how we come into the new system that will come forth. The new system, the new way. It's going to take time. Some things are going to have to happen. So right now, the president currently isn't also the president of that corporation no more. So we really have no president. Everything is being done from the military in the background, being run by military intelligence. Other military entities are now keeping the peace. Thus, you see military going to all 50 states now. There's more to it behind that what's being done to curb to chaos. Because even though this Act of 1871 has finally been dissolved, we are no longer under this corporation. We now have to get back on the track to becoming we the people, for the people. And that's why you're going to continue to see chaos, because their power has been taken and they're not going to let it go that easy. They're going to use their puppets and the clones or whoever, has been our so-called elected officials. They're going to continue to use the spin with them until the very end. Whatever that ending may be, my great fathers, whatever that ending may be. But we are now not under an illegal corporation running us, basically taking our resources to use what they want to use it for. This is what this has all been about. That's why you had so much money going overseas, going here, going there, really laundering through these so-called different companies and countries where we needed to be building our country. You know where we could have been as we, the people, for the people, with all of our money and resources, if we wasn't just sending it, giving it away every year, supposedly to help other countries. Okay, I'm sure it was helping other countries. It was lining these entities that I told you been running this game, the deep state, who I just mentioned, the biggest part of it, the international bankers, the European supremacists, the British supremacists. That's who's been getting your money all these years and laundering it through things going through other countries. That's one of the ways. And we're not going to even get into all the legalities because right now we have to mentally and spiritually get in tune to understand what is really taking place. Because this so-called inauguration you think you may see, it's not a real inauguration because the corporation that they've used to say you're voting for, you've never voted. They put who they want in their office. They take who they want from the party and say, okay, we're going to put this Republican in. That they make that decision. But they let you think you're voting through their dominion machines to have dominion over you, which I mentioned was in the Bible 93 times. So it's no coincidence now that dominion is one of the biggest issues because dominion over us, their dominion over us as a people has ended. You got to understand that, understand that, and believe it. I'm bringing the balance. I'm bringing the real to you to understand what you've been up against, what's really been taking place. We have been involved in part of the biggest con job, the greatest con job ever perpetrated through our Congress. That's why I said in one of my videos, the cracking of, I use that term of, because I was speaking of this corporation. I didn't say on Capitol Hill. I didn't say on. I said of. This is not about being anybody's supporter. This is about being a supporter of God. Because my great vibers, my people, we the people, we are truly in the end times. But it's the end times of the beast system that they created in America by these foreign interests that enslaved us, that was taking our money, throwing it all these other countries instead of using it to build us up as a people, as a nation, all of us. So these international bankers, these European technocrats who own all these big corporations here now, these British entities, that corporation has been dissolved. So they are fighting mad. So they got their people out here doing everything to cause disruption, chaos, until the very end, until they are hemmed up. You got to understand that if they can't have it, just like a person in a bad relationship, just like a person that coming out of bad marriage, some people take that mentality and it's definitely a little cuckoo. If I can't have you, nobody can. It's the same thing with us here in America. If they can't have it, nobody can in their minds. These are the type of people you're dealing with. Wake up, people. Wake up. Do not perish for lack of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So this presidential transition will not be the transition that you thought, my great vibers. It will not be what you think it is. Even if you think you're seeing a sideshow of an inauguration, it's just like an illusion of 911, where they were blaming a certain ethnic group for that. Another illusion by the beast system and the entities behind that. But a new system is coming, and you have to be on board. You have to be on board. You got to understand the Creator is back and he's here, but you got to get on board. So you will see us probably soon within the next few days or thereafter go into some sort of blackout. We may go into some sort of blackout because they're going to take their systems and punish you for not going with their narrative and shut down probably your internet provider systems, which all of them are connected locally, state, all of them are all connected. They're part of the beast system. Believe that. So you will see your systems go down probably shortly for a few days until some people are cuffed up and they get back in line. More than likely, that's what you'll see, because that's just how they're going to react. That's how spoiled bad children react when you put them in check or call them out. They're going to throw a tantrum, but they're going to get right back in line. As you see, the ice cream parlor, I'm going to use those terms, it's going to be back up soon. They'll be back up soon because a couple people got G-checked. They got G-checked, but they still going to go ahead after this sham of an inauguration, whatever may happen. I really don't know how that's going to play out. I really don't. So I don't even want to put any options out there because it doesn't matter to me at this point. What mattered to me was bringing it to you what system we were really under and that it has collapsed, and you figure out the rest from there. So to me, that inauguration stuff is irrelevant. It's irrelevant to me at this point. And you got to understand, the con job is over. So these cats are going to start pulling out their stops. But when I say blackout, it's not going to necessarily mean power grids. It may go down in certain areas for a little bit, maybe, but not no big, crazy power grid, because those things have been preventative things have been taken care of to keep that from happening. We do have the good guys that do have the keys to the internet, which was previously held by a certain Clinton woman, actual keys to the internet. So all of that stuff had been recovered. So even though that'll go down, it won't stay down for long before things go back up and people are put back in check. Get with the program. Like I said, the federalities are running out of paper, man. People signing statements. They trying to get up from under this. But our elected leaders, a lot of these cats have known what kind of system they were behind, and they went with it. They sold themselves out. And the ones that didn't, they got you up out of Congress real quick. And then they try to gaslight those people to make them look like they crazy, they bugged, they whack, all of this stuff. That's what they do. That's their greatest game. Always to shoot you the other way to gaslight somebody, to have their anti-leagues to always protect them from scrutiny or to make other people look crazy through projection. But they always use the game of problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, they see the reaction, they come with the solution. That's always been the game plan that they use. But now the final call, the final judgment is here, y'all. The final judgment against the beast system of America. As it is written in Exodus, in which Yah said, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. My people, he's talking about all of us, not a particular ethnic group, so to speak. All of us, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And the wilderness is reference to this earth. This earth. So this earth won't be destroyed like they try to preach to their other beast religious system to get you to believe, to tell you that you get your heaven when you leave here, while they live their heaven here. They created the hell here through their beast system, through their corporation. That was hell. It was the beast system. But the creator, the Yah, is telling us, no, let my people go. Let them go. And this is what they are refusing to do. Thus you have what you see going on. But this earth, it won't be destroyed like you think. It won't be destroyed. Just those that have perpetrated this con job. The ones that perpetrated this con job. My great vibers, you are meant to enjoy your peace, love, and happiness here while you're existing, not after. But these people, they refuse to let you do that. They will not repent for what they have done. Thus, you see the continued chaos that you are seeing. But what you actually seeing is a part of the Red Sea. It already happened. When that document was signed to dissolve the corporation, that was the parting of the Red Sea. But now, those on the real side, the safe side of God, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right, because you know why? When that water come back in, it's going to drown them out. It's going your fellow citizens, you're going to be all right, because when that ocean, that water come back together, It's going to take care of those that did the perpetrating and those that went along with it and co-signed it on every level. Our swamps aren't just in DC. Our swamps are in our local communities with what they had set up. But that's a whole nother video about how bad this beast system was right in your local state and county areas. They had time to set up because this is their system. It always has been. But the con job is over. The con job is over. There will be a new and free way of life that is coming. The show is over, my great fathers. It's over. There is a new script. A new script is here with a new way of life for the people. We, the people of God. But you have to be ready for that. You have to believe and understand that and get from under the con. This current president was never supposed to be in office. That was an act of God so that he could end this con job, the greatest con job ever pulled. That's why he here. So support him and others that back him, that are behind him, so we don't continue to be under the censorship, under all of this garbage that has done nothing but diminished our lives. Their con job is over. It's over, my great fathers. And I just got to let you know that this is what a lot of this stuff is really about. So now the small person, the small man can get back to having their livelihoods back instead of controlled by the system that was being run by the corporation that has been dissolved out of DC. It was never real. They just took our money and did what they wanted and told us fake things. Even though we thought all these systems were set up as government systems, they were really under the corporation. So even though you might have retired, thinking you retired from the government, no, you retired from this crooked corporation. That's what really took place. And now it's sad that they're continuing to use immigrants. They're sending from Honduras, go out all these places, talking about, it's happening right now. But the troops in those countries are stopping because they already know the mandate. They know the universal law and what's going on. So they know they have to stop them. The charade is over. The game is over. They won't make it here, but they were trying to send them as a last-ditch effort. And these people were you can find stuff now on the internet saying that we need housing, we need shelter. We don't even have that here now because of this demic thing, the C-19 thing. We don't even have that here. We have increased homelessness, joblessness. So why are you trying to push immigrants to come here right now? This is their last-ditch effort, last part of their game, people, that they were trying to do. And trust me, the destruction that they're going to try, it's not going to happen. But some things are going to take place. Keep your head up with your grass cut, my people, because we are now getting back to being we the people. Everybody's not going to always like everybody, but right now we have to come together as citizens and realize that we had always been calm. This ain't a black or white thing. We have really been played as we the peasants by those groups I told you, and by those that we thought were in DC serving us. But now you see the cracking of Capitol Hill, and therefore you now see the cracking of this beast system, So the Father has come. The Father has come. The Creator, Yah, all wise, all knowing, master of technology, master of the universe, has shut them down. You have to understand that now and shut them down also. Don't go for the shenanigans. Stay away from their demons. Their demons out there in the media that are continuing to perpetrate the con job. Don't go for it. It's over, my great fathers. Stay focused. Stay focused now that you have an understanding of what really has taken place. Peace, 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 peace. The first and the last, my great fathers. It's we the people is what it should be. That corporation has now been dissolved. It is over. Let it marinate. Understand. It's time for us to go in a new direction. Stop following these cowards. Stop following these people that never meant you any good, that always been acting under an illegal system. The Act of 1871. Look it up, Google it, and let it marinate. Let it marinate, and you will have the understanding for yourself, my great fathers. Peace. Peace. May God bless you.